Hey guys, this is Rob John Webb here, and what I want to talk about today is a short video on whether or not you should be releasing music during the current climate. Now, the answer to that is a bit of yes and a bit of no. And I'm just going to explore my opinions and what I think you should do if you're sitting on a load of tracks and you're not quite sure whether to release them or not for various reasons. Now then, the first reason obviously is why should you not release music during this time? And I'm talking about dance floor specific records. So I'm not talking about experimental, ambient, or some of your hip hop stuff or your pop stuff or whatever. I'm talking about stuff that's designed strictly for the dance floor, and clubs and so forth, and festivals and whatnot. So you've got to look at at the moment, the reason why not to perhaps is there are no dance floors as such. There are a few creeping in here and there. Don't forget it's now September. We're 6 months down the line from everything shutting and so forth. At different levels across the world, wherever you may be. But here in the UK, things can grind into a halt around March time. Anyway, so there are no dance floors at the moment, so to speak. So why would you release a track designed for that if there is not that platform for it to be exposed to? Then obviously, so that's one argument. So there's another one is that obviously, and with that comes the fact that no DJs are out DJing. There's no one out there playing stuff. There's no one out there breaking new music. There's no one out there doing that sort of thing because everybody is grounded to their homes and so forth. And also there's not many tracks being purchased at the minute. Obviously, with DJs not working, therefore sales are down at places like Beatport, etc. It's the knock-on effect is still there. So, and again, another reason is there's no festivals, there's no Ibiza, there's no circuit going on, there's nothing. So why would you want to release music during this time if it's not going to get the exposure that you hope it would get? Let's just go back and just try and think, right? Had this happened in 1995, for example, so 25 years ago, had the pandemic happened, and the music industry, which was the old model then, had the industry been affected as bad as it has today? And the answer is it would probably be affected a lot worse. And the reason for that it being worse would be the fact that there'd be no gigs. The same sort of thing, there'd be no gigs for bands as well, don't forget. So and in those days the music industry relied heavily on signing the next Oasis or the next Chili Peppers or whatever. I'm sure that's still the same now, but music industry has changed incredibly so. But in those days, there would be no bands to sign, and because they weren't playing, and there'd be no DJs playing new music. It's the same thing. But the fact that this happened, there would be no talent scouts going out to gigs. There'd be no one out there finding the music and mixing with bands and promoters and things like that. So they would have had to have reverted to listening to demo tapes, on their desk that they received in their droves during that time. Every record label office I've ever been in have always been stacked high with promo cassettes back in those days anyway. So they would have had to have sat and listened to a few old demos, and they probably would have found a few gems amongst the rubble through there that they would never have normally found because they'd have been too busy had the industry not come to a halt. So my point here I'm trying to make is that fast forward 25 years and we've now got this thing called the internet and all of the platforms that people can express themselves on, all your social media and all that. We never had that then. So the industry would have suffered immensely back then, and there would have been not many release schedules coming out. The labels would have been running out of product and things like that. And so basically what I'm saying is now we have all of these things available to us, but the beauty of what we have now is the fact that yes, there are no clubs open, so your record isn't going to get played on the dance floor, but what you do have are more people on the phones at this current time. Yes, people were always on the phones anyway pre-pandemic, but they were busy, people were at work, DJs were flying all over the world and didn't have time to scratch their own backsides. Now they're all on the ground. They're probably listening to a lot more music as well. So it's kind of a ground zero for a lot of people. But at the same time, a lot more people are tuning into mixtapes and online things. So for example, a DJ set will get a load of plays, or a DJ's video will get a load of streams, things like that. So it's important to release music, I think, in this current time, regardless, for the fact that you've got more eyes on screen. So you've got more chance of being exposed by all sorts of different people that probably would not have got a chance to listen to your stuff because they'd have been too busy doing something else. So you've got that aspect. And also, that whilst things are starting to change, things are never going to go back to how they were. I just can't see it myself. They're not going to go back. There's going to be so many things in place now. But what you can do as things evolve into the next phase, whether that's these VR festival things, whether that becomes the next norm, or, you know, they have these social distancing events on where everyone's in bubbles and everyone's in little pods, or whatever the scheme of things will be this time next year. The important thing is, whilst all this is going on, it's important for you to evolve with your music by building a portfolio. So it doesn't matter if sales are down. If you're in this for the money anyway, you shouldn't be doing it. You know, the money comes secondary for the love of it. That's the way the art world works, no matter what you create. So if you're in this for the money, then you need to, you know, have a think about that. But what you need to think about is, you do have to make a living and you have to make money out of it, of course. But what you've got to think about is, during these times, this is a time to be more experimental with your dance floor tracks. So you're not going to get your stuff played on a dance floor as such, or a festival. But what you are going to do is, you're going to be building a portfolio, and you're going to be still being relevant. And even if you're a newcomer and you're putting new releases out on Bandcamp or whatever it is, how you're starting, you're going to be building a portfolio, so that this time next year, if you keep that momentum going and you put a track out once a month or once every 6 weeks or whatever your rota is, or your schedule is, you know, you're going to be having stuff coming out and it's going to be relevant, rather than just sitting back and going, oh, I've got these 3 tracks and they're bangers, but, you know, no one's going to be buying them, so why bother? Well, you must bother, because you need to keep the momentum going. So that's the important thing. What I have noticed, though, in the last month, particularly from Defected Records, who are obviously one of the giants, they've released a hell of a lot of music. I get all their promos sent. They've released loads and loads of music just recently, and that's on all their side labels, such as Classic Music and Glitterbox and Sulfuric, all these labels they distribute. There's a load of stuff coming out, but they've been hammering a lot of stuff out recently, which is good and refreshing. So it just shows that even those at the top of the tree are, you know, still putting product out, because, you know, you could keep that momentum going. You can't just sit back and go, well, wait till this blows over and then, you know, we'll see how things go. You've got to keep evolving, even if you're not happy with socially distanced DJing, or you're gonna people are going to start accessing these VR rooms in the near future. This could be the next phase. This could be the next way of the scene, of how it goes. Who knows? Nobody knows. It's all dark waters at the moment. So my advice is, keep releasing stuff no matter what. Even if you've made a banger, say for example, and it's 7 minutes long, 6.5 minutes long, make a radio edit of it and make a little YouTube video. Even if it's just the artwork, just put it out on YouTube and get it out and keep it going. And perhaps hold back on the club version for a few months or whatever, or put it out on Beatport with the radio edit. But get the radio edit out so it's a shorter version, so that people can instantly get the track, rather than have to listen to the full mix. Because there are people out there that don't want to listen to a 6.5 minute track, only if it's in a DJ mix. I'm one, for example. If I hear a track, sometimes I don't want to hear the full version, just give me the radio edit, you know. So it might be a good idea to make a radio edit of your track, a shorter version, and just get it out. That's one avenue. So yeah, that's my advice on this. It's just my opinion. You know, that's all it is. So leave a comment in the box if you've got anything to say or suggest, or you want to contribute to this in any way, or get in touch with me. What I also offer now is, if you check out my website, which is waxadisc.com, I now offer music mentoring production packages. So I offer a variety of choices and techniques and skills and whatever it is you want to learn. If you want to learn how to make music from the very beginning, or if you're halfway through and you're stuck on tracks, come and check me out and listen to the video that I've got on the homepage of the website, and you'll see all of the things that I offer and all the different genres that I can assist and help you with. So that's www.waxadisc.com, and that's my music mentoring packages. So go ahead, go and release your music, keep putting product out, forget the naysayers, keep putting it out, and keep producing. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.